This is Terminal 5A gates.
Okay, I just returned home last night from 9 days in Europe, and the Tomtoc T66 28 liter was my main travel bag. I thought I would unpack with you so you could see what all I crammed into this thing. Now, we were actually visiting family for the first few days, and we moved places every single night. So I didn't want a roller for that reason. I needed easy packing. I wanted to use packing cubes. So let's look at it, and we'll go over the features of the Tomtoc later. Okay, starting with the sides. Each of these sides could have held water bottles, but instead they held some shoes that I didn't need. These were exercise shoes, and this was one each. And I only ended up using them a couple times. I just wore little slip-on sneakers instead. Inside this pocket was a packable tote that now just has like some notes and things from when we were visiting, but I used that tote and I used it to carry home gifts for family and stroopwafels, lots of stroopwafels. In this quick access pocket, I have my travel adapter that I actually picked up at a hotel because I didn't have one for EU, and my sunglasses. So those just stayed up here and there's plenty of room. Okay. And this is how I access the bag. So here I had a pair of sandals. I just kept that in that open space. And then inside the tech sleeve, I added, this is my MacBook, but I also had a separate little padded sleeve that I bought off Amazon because I knew this was going to be under a lot of pressure with me packing it really tightly, and I'd be using it on public transportation. So I just wanted some extra protection for it. I always packed and unpacked from this side because it opens to a full clamshell. The other side is a little bit graduated, so you don't really get full access. So, I mean, it's nice that the front is open, but I don't think I'll ever use it for that. So here I had charger for my MacBook. And then what I would do is I'd have 3 packing cubes. These are packing cubes from Away that I bought secondhand, but the reason I use these instead of some of my more firmer packing cubes, I have some from Quince I really like, but I actually wanted less structure. I still wanted these to be organized by type, but I wanted them to be able to compress down and not be like bricks. I didn't want packing cubes that were actually compressible because that meant I would have to do that every single night, and that would be such a pain. Or every day when we switched hotels. So in this one, I kept 5 shirts. And this is my styling tool for my hair. So I really just kind of layered these 3 together. And then this was my toiletry bag. So if you look at how these nestled, really, if I went like this, then I had this one, and then this one, and this really fits the shape of the top of the Tomtoc, so it worked really perfectly. And then I was able to create a second layer because I used really lightweight packing cubes. This was my travel adapter for the UK, and then these were my bottoms, and things got a bit mixed up, but I have 1, 2, 3 bottoms, 4 bottoms in here, my nightgown, and a scarf. And then I wore a pretty flowy gauze skirt on the plane both times, since that took up quite a bit of space. And then this last one, which is about the same size as my toiletry, held my undergarments. And then this is my SSD card for filming. So that was everything that was in the Tomtoc. Let's say I was just going on a 2-night trip. Maybe to go visit my parents or to go to city for a little getaway, not to Europe. I wouldn't need a second packing cube, and I likely wouldn't need what's all in the first, but we'll just use that as an example. Okay, so now it's a lot less full. I could still do my sunglasses. I wouldn't need my adapter. Of course, I have like a crossbody bag that I always use too with it. And then for shoes, I could even put the shoes inside. If I wanted another pair of shoes, I could put these in here and I wouldn't even have to use that outside pocket. I could actually use it for a water bottle. Okay. So then, because this has a lot less in it, then what I really like about the Tomtoc is it compresses. I had a Cotopaxi before that did not compress, so even if I put less in it, I still had the same like bulky shape. So that looks nice and snug, and this does fit as a personal item. Okay, so that would be fun to be able to actually put my water bottle in there, and you can even loop it through if you want to. Yeah, so that's how I would use it for a shorter trip. But I thought it was a great bag. This is my new traveling to Europe setup, is this with a crossbody bag and a like packable tote for bringing home souvenirs. Okay, let's look at the outside features. I'm at home now, but this was recorded in Amsterdam in the windowsill of a hotel. So for outside features, we have two pretty large water bottle pockets. Those could also, I use them for shoes in shoe pouches, but you could use those for water bottles or a tripod if you're a photographer. Any of those things would work. The back is really nicely padded, and it has a trolley sleeve and also a sternum strap. You have a side handle, and then the zippers are all YKK, so really good quality. And looking down, you can see that you do have access to your computer through that. And then you have the top access pocket. And the funny thing is I never once think to show how to get in from the front of the bag because I never did, and I need to do that. So I'll show you that now. Okay, welcome to the things I forgot to show you when I was jet lagged. I didn't show you how you get into it from the front, and I also didn't show how you collapse it for storage. So I'm actually starting with it collapsed now, so I'll show that to you first. This is how much depth it takes up. It's really like maybe a coffee table book, a large coffee table book. When this came in the shipping box like this, I thought there's no way that I can fit enough things in here for Europe, but it did work out. How you can open and close it from the front is you have these side compressions, which are just to cinch that side, but it's this side that opens. This is the pocket that had my Bellroy Market tote in it. So it's quite big. It's just shallow, but it takes up this whole space. So it would also be good for a jacket. Where is the zipper? There you go. And these zippers are all YKK, so they're really good quality. And I like the little Tomtoc pulls here at the end, zipper pulls. Okay, so you would just, after it's stored, you would just loosen these side ones up, and then you open it up. And then the cool little thing here is it has this plastic base that folds flat for storage. That's why it folds so flat. But when you're ready to pack it, you can just pull this base up. You can see this little plastic base. Tuck it in here. Now you have a nice sturdy bottom. I don't know if it's just me or maybe it's because this is kind of the lid. I like going to it from the other side. My husband used this for a Chicago trip. I was having him test it out as a personal item. So I'll include those clips here. He was able to fit it under the seat. It fit fine in the bag sizer, totally. I mean, it worked with my 8-night or 9-night Europe trip too in the bag sizer. Okay, so let me show this back one more time, just to kind of demonstrate now why I preferred this one. I like this little pull. You can just rip it. It's designed like that. The base, put the base back. I just feel like I get a better view of it from here. So that's why I always packed it from the back. Okay, and then the last question is, I think I made it seem like I carried 3 bags on the plane when I got on at the end. And I did, but I didn't physically hold 3 individual bags. What I did is I took this out of the pocket and opened it up, and I put this purse inside with like my passport, my wallet, and all of that. But I did have to move my passport to a more easily accessible place inside this tote, and that's what I really didn't love because, you know, it's open. I was walking through an airport with my passport right here. What I would do the next time is, I love this bag. It's 10 liters, and I needed the extra space in Europe because I wanted to be able to put my jacket in there. But if I were going on a shorter trip, I would probably bring a smaller second bag. This is a lot of fabric, and what's kind of funny is if I just lay it on top of my Tomtoc, it basically covers the same space, surface area, but this is about 1/3 the capacity of the Tomtoc. Let me get these 2 out of the way real quick. For a shorter trip, I would probably bring a crossbody or sling. So this is the Tomtoc Terra, which is a 3.5 liter crossbody, and it can also be shortened to wear like as a shoulder bag. I just used this recently for the first time on a trip. I had a roller and a personal item because I needed some extra capacity. But what I like about this small size is I just dropped this in my personal item as I boarded the plane. So I was boarding with just 2. And I like the size. This is still filled with my stuff, but I have like a wallet in here. It has interior pockets. I use this for my keys. I can keep my lip balm here. And the other side is really velvety. So you could definitely have your phone. But what I like is the double zippers too, but my phone I keep in this back pouch here, which I actually wear on the front. I'm hoping to go on a little adventure overnight or 2 coming up here soon, and I think I'll use the Tomtoc with the Terra as my 2-bag combo. But I did like having this packable tote. I have this one. I got it at a bookstore once. It's super tiny, but it unfolds to a pretty good size, and you can just keep it in there. So you could put this in the front pocket or keep this in another bag that you have if you're going into the store. I could keep it in something like this and just pull it out when I need to when I'm traveling. So I did include links to many of the items that I purchased from Amazon in the description below. All of the items that I've shown here were purchased by me with my own money. Nothing is sponsored. But if you do find something that interests you, I'd love to answer your questions first of all. But if you decide to purchase through the links below as an Amazon associate, I do earn some commission from those items. Thank you so much for coming along with me, and I will see you on the next one.